Hey guys, what's going on? It's Verbal, and that means it is FNG episode 10.
Cool.
I can't believe we're so far into this already. It's kind of crazy. But I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. We have got some fantastic lineup today. Jive, Turkey, was meant to be our guest, and at the last second, something came up. So we will have him next week. But for right now, I'm very pleased to introduce Driftor. Driftor, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Drifter. You probably heard me say something like, hey guys, welcome to Modern Warfare, or welcome to Black Ops In Depth. Today we're going over some random-ass gun that I will forget one insignificant fact about, and then everybody will flame me into oblivion. Something like that. I do that. That's probably what most people know me for, but I prefer to be known as a regular machinima director, like the Red versus Blue, or I did the If It Were Real, or some of the If It Were Realistic videos, and some more dramatic works back in the days.
I love it. I feel like we've broken into the big time, guys. We actually have a machinima director on our podcast. So that means we're cool, right?
You had Onslaught on the second episode.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so we're even more cooler now.
but Drifter has some exclusive contract where he has like a series with Machinima, right?
Actually, with both channels. The In Depth is supposed to be a featured Machinima series. They haven't updated their little playlist in a long time, but I'm pumping those out 2 a week as best to my ability. And the If It Were Realistic was not. It was like a test run for it to be a Machinima.com original series, but the first season kind of fettered out about halfway, and if the second season does particularly well with views and reviews, then it may well be a Machinima.com original series. Right now, neither of them are contracted series, but they're in the testing phases, I suppose, I guess you would call it, and I'm not really... You say now you're cool, you have a director. Well, you're telling me like T. Martin and Woody were supposed to be on here next week and week after that. I'm like, fuck, those guys are going to blow me right the fuck out of the water.
That's the thing about us, man, is it doesn't matter, view count, sub count. As long as you get on here and we have fun, then honestly, that's all I care about. So as long as everyone in the live stream's having fun, then I could care less if you have, one subscriber, to be honest.
Yeah, to that point, we had Ask a Capper last week. How many subs does Ask a Capper have? Like 5,000? But there's a guy that's quadriplegic and playing computer games and
with
a
his
stand-up
fucking
comedian.
face.
With his face, to the face. Like, that guy's fucking awesome, man. That was so
I don't know his name because I don't watch a lot of videos. That's the guy, he made the video of him in a wheelchair and his hands are kind of...
Yep.
They don't work too well, and he's still beating ass in video games.
He's a quadriplegic, but he can still use. He has some mobility in his arms, but he can't move his no hands. So he plays with his face basically. He just holds the controller up to his face and plays with his chin.
Wow, that guy is a true American hero.
Yeah, dude, he's a beast too.
Sure. He's got such a great attitude. Like, everything in life for him is like he's finding the positive in it, and he's like, "Yo, stay well, be good, guys, have fun," and like he's always finding the positive. I love that shit. That's cool.
Well, some people you just can't get down.
Yeah, definitely. So
okay, go ahead.
No, go for me.
All right, I wanted to say because your in-depth series back in Modern Warfare 2 got over like 1 million views per video, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're pretty wrong there. The best I ever did was 550 or 60,000. Generally speaking, they would hit like 50, 60, 80 on the first day and go into about 200,000 range by the end of the week. But that's no small number.
Jesus, TryHard, get it right, man. It's only 560,000 views. I mean, only. Like, come on.
But I mean, because is that like how much above average is that compared to other Machinima videos?
Well, back in the day on Respawn, that was slightly above average. I guess 25, 30, 40% above average for the Jan Olden Respawn. But now that there's a lot more directors and the competition is a lot harder, if that were happening now, that would be way the hell above average.
Yeah, because views have sunk over time. Well, they're fucking pumping out videos like it's like there's no tomorrow. Like they're pumping out like what, 20 a day now. Is that what it is?
Something like that. It varies every day, but they're I don't keep count. I remember it started out on Respawn about 10 a day, then it went to 12, 15. It went up to around 20 plus really quick.
Wow, that's crazy. I have to admit, I'm not even subscribed to Machinima Respawn because I feel like. It's so tough to keep up with the number of directors I subscribe to, and I'm like ridiculous. I probably have like more than 70 or 80 subscriptions, and I don't know how anyone keeps up with that amount of volume.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I unsub just because the directors and stuff that I followed that were on Machinima, their stuff was getting buried, and I wouldn't know about it. So that's why I unsubbed and just stayed to their channel. And I'd wait for an update or something like that because it's so much.
My subscribers told me to do the same thing because the views on the in-depth series they're different. I don't know if they've gone downhill or not, but they're not hitting the 100,000 or like huge numbers like that. And my subscribers started telling me, hey, we don't subscribe to Machinima anymore. There's too much COD spam. We can't sort it out. I want you to upload videos linking us to yours. So I've started doing that. Josh has been doing that the whole time. God, I should have been paying attention to what he was doing.
Yeah, Josh, for people who don't know, is your partner in the whole thing, right?
Yes. Josh is my partner for Black Ops in Depth. Do you mind if I talk about Josh for a little bit? It's
go ahead, dude.
Stuff. I'm not flaming Josh. A lot of people gave me a lot of shit for not hosting the assault rifle episodes or not hosting all the episodes myself. And that's not because I hated the fans or because I was lazy or I was too big to do this sort of thing myself. The reality of the situation was that I was in my senior year of engineering at college. Well, I guess now I'm still technically in my senior year, but I'm taking one class. I didn't fail. They changed the schedule on me. There's a difference there. But I was taking all my really hard classes, and I had a part-time job on campus, and a lot of other things were going on, and I was also busting my hump on if it were realistic because I had to get the whole season done ahead of time. So I really had almost no spare time to do in-depth on my own. And Machinima asked if I could, if possible, do 2 episodes per week, and there was just no way in hell. So I contacted Josh to do them for me. I mean, in retrospect, I probably should have been there for the first couple episodes. I didn't think anybody actually cared what I had to say or the fact that I was a commentator, but they were just interested in the statistics and numbers, and I guess I was very wrong there, and it was kind of mean of me to just, as Josh said, he had no clue what he was doing. I didn't know him particularly well before we started. I just picked him because he'd sent me some videos in the past, and he'd been nice to me, and it was really kind of random how he ended up hosting the show, and he did a good job, but it was different. People weren't expecting it. My name was still on the little thumbnail, and it alienated a lot of people. We're kicking ass now in the dual commentaries, and he's helping me edit, but it was rough starting out.
It's funny how people do that, though, because, sorry, Larry, to interrupt you, but
whatever.
People come, fuck you, you smell funny, and you're in the military, so screw you. But it's funny how people do that, because they come for either the gameplay or your voice or something. Like, they'll come and they'll be like, all right, I'll sub to you, but they stay because they like who you are, and you'll still get the view from them. I mean, you'll still get the subscriber, because the majority of people are too lazy to unsub, but they'll stay because they like who you are, and when you put someone else in front of them, it's kind of like, well, that's not why I subscribe to you. You know?
Well, I
got a quick question. Like, how did that feel to you to know that? I mean, obviously you took what you were doing seriously. You had a lot on your plate, and you pulled Josh in to help you out. But then to see responses like, "Wait a minute, where's Driftor at? That's why I'm watching this." How did that feel to you to go from just like putting out videos and just doing shit for fun to like, hey, wait a minute, where the fuck is Driftor at? That motherfucker.
Yeah, it was a little weird because, to be perfectly honest, I considered my commentary. I didn't actually do commentaries. I just did in depth, and I considered them to be very boring and relatively low quality. And it surprised me that people liked them to begin with. And if I go back, if you read most of the comments on the old Modern Warfare, not the recent ones, but the ones when they first came out, like, this is boring, this is maths, the host sounds like Hank Hill, he's a faggot, he's a this and that. So I'm like, who the fuck cares who's hosting this? All they want is the damn numbers. So I just got a different host. And it was really shocking to see that people actually wanted to listen to what I had to say. I mean, that was really tripping balls, and it also made me feel really bad because it gave Josh a huge opportunity and threw him in a situation where he ended up being an antagonist of sorts, stealing my series or taking it over from me, and he got some hurtful comments for a long time, but now he's got a really good following of his own, and some people much prefer Josh over me, which is a good thing.
I think you could have brought in anybody, and like, unless it was like C9ers or Hutch, and like that person would have still got him in trolled, because there's something about the in-depth series back in Modern Warfare 2 that was unique to you, and to bring somebody else, like, no matter how good they possibly are, I think it was a lose-lose situation, to be honest.
Yeah, but I had no idea, dude. It never even occurred to me. I'm just glad that we figured it out now. Like, if you've seen the last few, the dual commentaries we've been doing have got a lot of positive reviews, and it surprises a lot of people that we even consider PC players and have like their own little PC section or the alternate point of view. So I'm really liking that.
All right, so last episode came out. I think it was it the Python ACOG, or did I miss one?
You're thinking about something you saw on my channel. That hasn't come out yet. That will come out, but nah, not a big deal. People can go look at it when they want. The last one was the surface penetration wall banging, and the one before that, I think me and Josh did Uzi and PM63, if I remember correctly.
Whose surface did you penetrate? What was her name? When did it happen? And how often does it happen? Just asking.
As a happily engaged man, I will have to pass that question.
Don't do it!
I love it.
I would say that because I'm married, man. If you don't know anything about me, I'm married. I'm in the military, and I've been married for 7 years, going on 8 years. Been with my wife for just about 10 years.
So what he's saying is it's a long way of saying he's basically dead already.
Yeah.
No, wait. So, Driftor, you're engaged and you're still in school. So, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, fuck 23? Me.
And have you and your significant other have a date yet?
Yeah, we're gonna get married this October 15th, barring any horrible disaster.
Oh, congratulations,
October. Good wait, that's still like a few months. That's 8 months or something, 9 months.
I think it's 7 months from shit. That's 7 months from now. I got a lot of work to do.
It is a lot of work. A lot of work. I'm telling you, switch to the Middle Eastern rules, where basically you just give her family a couple fucking cows and like a picnic basket, and you just save money left and right.
I forgot to warn Drifter of Larry Legend before the podcast.
That's fine, but you do know that my fiance is Chinese, right?
No, he didn't know that, dude.
No, that's not the same as Middle Eastern, but she's Chinese, American-born Chinese, and it's going to be a big Chinese wedding. Like, we're going to have the regular wedding and the official one in the church, and then a big Chinese reception in the local civic center. And the Chinese wedding, the big point of that is the tea ceremony, and the old Chinese, they do business, and they give you the red packet money, and they have a big old time. So most of the money is going toward feeding. It's going to be like 200 Chinese people and like 35 of us whiteys. So it's going to be really interesting. Probably one black guy just to mix things up.
Just to get the quota.
Wait! I actually can tell a story here. So my brother's married to a very similar young lady, a Chinese-born, first generation American, and we had the full-on everything you just described last summer in June. And I tell you, every single present was, shall we say, envelope-sized.
Yeah, red envelopes. I forget the proper Chinese name for it, but it's supposed to help you pay for the wedding and or start out.
They did very well. I would you'll be lucky if you break even. I think if you have that mentality, you'll do well. But you should do very well. I was actually there the next day helping them count out all the checks and cash and shit. And yeah, that was an interesting moment in life. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty crazy.
Yes. Well, we also have to watch from the older Chinese stealing the plates and food and stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yes,
Are you kidding?
No.
That
happens, man. They'll steal plastic plates, or especially if there's good plates, those things will disappear.
Mandarin or Cantonese?
Cantonese.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so a little bit more sort of from the country and sticks there. Han Chinese or
Han Chinese. Well, they're of Singaporean descent. Actually, they're from Singapore, but ethnically Chinese and Singapore is the same. So.
Wait, Drifter, where in the country are you from? Because you basically just described my sister-in-law. You're freaking me out right now. If you say New Jersey, we're going to end this podcast right here and we're done.
No,
right?
I've never been to New Jersey. Almost went one time, but I currently live in Mississippi, which, it's Mississippi. One of many awesome southern states. Not really.
Are you near Biloxi?
Oh, come on, Mississippi's awesome.
No, Biloxi's way down the coast. I'm in central Mississippi. Do you know where Mississippi State University is? If you've ever heard of them, I'm there right now. I don't live on the campus, but I live in the town.
Okay. Yeah, I was stationed down in Biloxi about 3 years before Katrina hit, so I got to know that for a little while.
Yes, Mississippi is let's say an interesting place to live.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to the Delta, the Mississippi Delta?
No.
Yep, okay, well that's kind of like the asshole of the South. It's one of the poorest and worst places in the nation. I think that the only other place I've ever been that was worse was the Appalachian Mountain region, but I grew up in the Delta and it was a trip.
Well, like I said, I was stationed in Biloxi, and I went to this one town because basically what happened is I was dating my girlfriend at the time, turned out to be my fiance, turned out to be my wife, and she came down to visit me, and we went to is it Moss Port or Moss Point? I think it's Moss Port, down. It's about 20 miles north of Biloxi, and I just went to get away from the base, the training, everything. It was a 3-day week, Valentine's Day weekend, and we went out there, and I was like, I'm from the north. I'm from Massachusetts, so I'm used to just shit being everywhere. And so I just found this hotel on MapQuest, and I'm like, fuck yeah, we'll go there, and we'll be able to fucking drink and find people to buy us alcohol and shit. And we get out there, and it was a fucking hotel and CC's Pizza for 3 days, and that was it.
Wow.
And one time we got a taxi to go to a local strip mall, which was, let's just say, I wish I had a pistol on me when I went there. But we went there, and like taxis out there, they don't just like go and just pick up one person and take you somewhere. They just like pick up whoever's along for the ride. It's like a city bus or whatever. And we picked up this one dude from the Navy. He was like 55 years old. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, and he was absolutely shit-faced. If I could have recorded that call, that's all we could have done is just played that for a podcast, because you guys would have laughed so fucking hard at this guy. And it was just a trip. I mean, for 3 days, we just basically lived in a hotel room. And if we had a black light in that hotel room, we would have been back on base with the quickness, because it was disgusting.
Yeah, the South can be like that. It's not for those of you that are listening, it's not the same as up north or bigger. I mean, there's urban areas here, but a lot of people don't understand in the smaller towns. There's 30,000 people in the town, and that's it. And that doesn't support a lot of businesses. So there's Walmart and a handful of local stores that are going out of business, and not much else. There's no cabs. There's no, as you say, shit being everywhere and stuff to do. There is none of that.
No. It's actually funny. The only two places in the planet that I've ever had racism against me were in Hawaii, and I'm going to get it wrong, but I think it was Greenwood. Is there a place called Greenwood in the middle of the Delta, somewhere near where Delta started their
you're making me trip balls right now, because that's where I was born and raised, in Greenwood, Mississippi, and when I go home for holidays, that's where I go back to.
Holy shit, man. Our lives you're freaking me out. One of my an old young lady that happened to be in my life at a certain point in time, she had a...
Wait. Say that again, Verbal?
Fuck. I'm trying to. This is before Kate. This is a young lady in my life before Kate, basically.
Oh.
What's her name? I might know her. Small town.
Yeah, no shit. Her name is Kate as well. Actually,
this could make epic talk.
Which Kate?
Oh fuck me. This is bad. Let me think about whether I want to give that name out on a podcast.
Just put it in the Skype chat. Just put it in the Skype chat, and that way
well, we can't see that. You're gonna. Oh wait, I have you on my friends list here. Type it to me on the friends list, and I'll tell you if I know that person or their family.
All right, that makes sense.
He's gonna be like, yeah, I fucked her too. Whoa. Small world.
No, but like she lives in Gulfport, Mississippi. She doesn't actually live in Texas, but at the point in time, she lived with her parents in Gulfport, and I went down to visit like about a year after Katrina, and it was like I knew all this images, and I'd seen everything, and then now finally visiting the area for the first time. This was I think early 2006. It wasn't quite a full year afterwards, but it was 6-8 months afterwards, definitely. And it was it was hard. I mean, you know yourself, it was just devastation down there at that point. And getting back to the point, that racial aspect, like in Hawaii, it's all about, white people are dumb and uneducated and, don't know anything about Polynesian culture or Hawaiian culture. And it's like the racism becomes rife. It's just normal. And the only other time I saw it was right in the middle of Greenwood. Am I saying that right?
Yes, Greenwood.
And I forget what it was, but I think it was like the first time I'd ever been to a Sonic. We don't have Sonic here in New York City. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was we were second-class citizens to ordering a drink.
Well, I'll continue with that in just a minute down this racist point of view, but please give me that name because I'm so curious.
yeah, dude. Don't try to.
Come on,
it's time for you to type in that name, man.
All right. Here we go. Hold on. It's what the hell is her last name again? Let me
pull it out of the black book.
You know what?
It's more or less like fucking 15 letters. So let's go.
Well, to be honest, I've got to pull it out of Facebook right now, and I'm like, what the hell was this girl's name? It's been like 5-6 years. I'm waiting for Facebook to refresh.
So while you're doing that, let's get into some Black Ops talk right here.
Okay.
I posted a video lately about how I hate commentators are all like saying that Black Ops now has become boring because they were all bitching that Modern Warfare 2 was filled with Commando, Danger Close, Noob Tubes, and all that different type of stuff. And now that TryHard has removed all that, people are saying that it's boring now. So I want to know what your guys' opinion is on that whole thing. Okay, so no opinions. Moving on.
Well, I was waiting for somebody else to talk because I've been kind of hogging the conversation here.
Oh wait, it's Seb. I was on fucking Facebook figuring out what Kate's last name was. What
I
was
was actually again? In the process of unmuting you, Seb, so I missed that.
Holden.
Oh, thanks a lot, dude.
I know. Sorry, somebody else is calling me. I see that name right there.
Yep.
And I have heard that name around the town. I personally don't know their family or anything, but I have heard of them before. Yes.
Damn. It is a small fucking world, man. Seriously.
Yes, but before we move on, I'll say a little bit about the racial situation in Greenwood. For those of you who can't already tell, I'm about as white as they get, and I spend a lot of my time in Texas. But Greenwood, or the Delta in general, is, if you look at the population distribution, it's about 35% white and about 64% black and a little bit of 1% other. And this is no joke, like former slave territory, like former where they had big plantations and all that sort of thing. This is civil rights era stuff. This is Jim Crow kind of stuff. So even this much later, the races in general, I mean, there's good people and bad people everywhere, but they don't get along for shit, not a bit. And it's a very, very poor area, which doesn't make anything any better at all. So there's a lot of crazy racist stuff on both sides of the fence all the time. It's a huge mess politically, socially. There's places in town I don't go to. There's places in town that black people don't go to just because it's not safe for either of them to be there just because of the color we are. And I'm not going to lie, when I was growing up in that town, I was extremely racist. That's all that I grew up in, and that's what it was. But coming to college has been eye-opening, to say the least. So I've lost quite a bit of that. But residual stuff does hang around because that's how I was raised.
Well, hold on. That's a really interesting point because it's a case of you're talking about the way that you get brought up and how that affects who you are as a person. So you feel like you've changed quite a bit. What are you now? You said 23?
Yeah, 23.
So you've been at college for at least 4 years now?
Five in particular, yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. Like your points of view have changed by talking to other people, and like I get the moment you walk up to a drive-through and you say, "Hey, can I have a Coke?"
Yeah, and
it's that or nothing, and they just completely ignore you, and you're like, "Wait, did I misspeak? Did I say it in Swedish or something? Do you not understand?" That's weird.
It is that they doesn't understand because the languages are different. The vernacular is so different that the two have a difficulty understanding each other. But the difference is, I was raised in the town, and it's really poor. So even a lot of the white people there are really poor and not well educated. And the same is true of the black people. But I grew up more or less being taught that they're stupid, that they're trashy, and that it's their fault, or monkeys and whatever, and that sort of thing. And I didn't believe all of that ever, but in general, that's what I saw. I mean, you go to Walmart, you go to Sonic, and it's nothing but really, really poor black people or really trashy white people. So that's just how I assumed that the rest of the country was. And I go to college, and I'm going to classes with people of all races, and I've been taught more or less to believe that white people are the best at everything. And I'm like the dumbass in the class, and all the foreign students and all the black students from up north are making me look like a retard, and it's really shaking. Well, I mean, I'm trying to say it the best way possible, but it's really, unusual to have that kind of change.
Well, obviously, I'm in the military, so we see this a lot. We see a lot of kids come from small towns, whether it's in the South or the Midwest or the North, no matter what their color is, and they have a specific outlook on life, and that's because of how they were raised, the community, or how their parents raised them, whatever it is. And you just see people's minds get fucking blown away when they talk to, a black person that's highly intelligent, or it's vice versa. And it's, an African American or a black person speaking to a highly intelligent, non-racist white person. And you just see this like gloss that's been over their eyes for a long time, for their whole life, for the main part, just get washed away, and they just see the world in a whole new light. And that's one of the really cool things about the military, is the friends that you make throughout the country, from around the world. It's pretty awesome. It's good that you get to experience that, and that we're actually talking about it. So people that are, listening, people that are listening that haven't left their hometown in 16 years, 17 years, 14 years, 20 years, whatever it is, that it's not the way that it is in your hometown. The world is a very huge place.
That's very true. Just to say one more thing, not to confuse people, not trying to make myself not look bad. I'm not saying that I was a dumb person walking around hating on. I mean, I wasn't ignorant, and I knew that the world was different. But it's different when you actually see it for yourself.
Right.
Yeah. It's that moment that Larry was just talking about of like, wait, what? So everything I've just been taught for the last however many years is complete bullshit. So.
Yeah.
What do I now need to learn? Like, this is interesting. Like, it becomes like a moment of glossy-eyed through to, wow, so what else can I learn? And that's I like that a lot. That's pretty cool.
This is fucking out of my league because you guys are getting all into this deep, racial discussion. I'm from Montreal, Quebec, and the thought of racism does not exist simply because we are just white. Well, no, but like,
I'm with Seb here because he comes from far more like what I would consider a European cosmopolitan city, and I had the exact same upbringing. Race and racial issues are far less of an issue in London. I have 2 or 3 of my best friends are black as night, and I'm like, I've never seen them that way before until I came to America, and it's such a big deal here. It really is.
Like we had in my school of like 1,500 people. I swear to you, we had one black guy, and we were all like. Okay,
never mind what I said.
No, but like we had one black guy, and that was all of the ethnicity that we could have, and then like everybody was cool. Like there was nothing wrong about like, I don't know, like everything about racial. Whatever you guys want to call it. I mean, I never was brought up in that, so I mean, I cannot like participate in this conversation because it's just not like.
Well,
I don't know.
How about we change it to something you can relate to? I'll talk about. No, I'm not trying to be kind of like different. I also had a unique experience of growing up, thanks to a family divorce, of going from middle class to very rich, and then back to poor and up and down a lot. So you can see a lot of similar changes there. Like the things that poor and rich people think and do are in general very different from each other, and the things that they expect, it's different people see the world different ways.
Yeah. Well, Seb's been rich his whole life, so I guess we should probably talk about Black Ops.
Yeah.
I saw that coming 3 minutes ago, dude.
Yeah. The second he said I went from poor to rich, oh my god, Larry's gonna jump on this.
Yep, definitely.
But no, I mean,
let's go back to your question.
I was what?
Let's go back to your question. Well, you had a question right before.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's do that. Because there's been a bunch of commentaries lately coming out from a bunch of big YouTubers bringing up the topic of Black Ops being boring. And if you follow some of the big ones on Twitter as well, they're tweeting about how Black Ops is boring. Some are even going back to Modern Warfare 2. And in my personal opinion, this is the way I feel. They bitched for about a whole year about how Modern Warfare 2 was. Kill streaks, were stackable, so easy. The rich get richer type stuff. They were bitching about one man army noob tubes, and while Treyarch listened to all of this and fixed everything, now people are bitching about how boring the game is. So I want to know what you guys think as part of the YouTube community, and also what you guys think a game like next year's Modern Warfare, a Call of Duty game should look like. Should we go back to a Modern Warfare 2-esque type thing, or should we stay with the whole diagram of what Black Ops is like?
Well, I guess I'll jump off here. I do kind of find it boring a little bit, but at the same time, because the way I see this game is a lot different than the way that I saw Modern Warfare 2. Because when I started playing Modern Warfare 2, it was all by myself. And now it's with a full team, 98% of the time. So it can get boring because you're just, smashing people, and people rage quit, they dashboard. And again, like I think it was T or maybe Sabby put it in the Skype chat, is that you can't go out there and have those quote unquote Rambo moments. You can't go out there and say, "Oh, look at these 7 guys right here," and you run out there and you get 2 shots into one guy before he falls in his second chance and shoots you.
I don't know what game you're playing, dude. I'm getting these Rambo moments all the time.
Yeah, that's because you don't move, you sucker.
I just ate yes down a hallway the whole time, and I'll get fucking quad sprays. no, but
quad sprays for days.
Yeah, like I see what you're getting at, but I don't know. Like I feel that that like. Everybody who comments on YouTube videos now, like they will never be happy, and I don't know. Like I feel every video now is about bitching and whining. I mean,
see, it's funny. I felt that when I first started, to be honest, and I remember like that was one of the things I was like, wow, I would never do that.
Guys, my phone has been on silent, and my fiance, who was supposed to have been at the hospital working, has been calling me. Oh boy, I hope to God she didn't crash. I'm gonna be right back.
Oh, it's all good, man. Do what you gotta do.
Take it easy, buddy. Well, that's an interesting turn of events. I hope Drifter's fiance is okay. Let's get back to this chat, and hopefully he can join us.
Yeah, let's not have her crash live on FNG. Yeah. That would not be good.
That would not be cool. Someone just said in the stream, crash. That's the first thing he thinks of. That's kind of scary. Why was he thinking of crashing? I don't know what happened to that.
Oh my God, Larry.
Yeah,
look in the Skype chat right now. Look in it. Look at it.
What
Dude,
the fuck?
You should.
Who is that?
Okay, we will.
Okay. See, dude, no, seriously, I thought it was like K-pop or one of you guys that created this fucking account.
Okay, we will never get through my topic because I have to speak about this whole thing.
Oh my God, we have to bring this up. This is awesome.
All right. So we're on Skype this morning, and Larry Skypes us. Have you guys created a channel called Larry's Lova, or whatever the channel is named? And he links us to a channel of this guy who has favorited most of Larry's videos, like recent videos, and his descriptions are all about how he loves what Larry's doing. And he thinks that it's like a joke from either me or Verbal, or maybe Kelly's freak enough to do that. But apparently it's not, because he's in the stream, he or she is in the stream right now, and we would actually like to know who the fuck you are, my friend.
I'm dying to know who this person is. Like literally made up a troll entire YouTube account to troll Larry with.
I want that, man. Troll me. Make a Mr. I Try Hard. I love you.
Like they're saying it. Oh, Shooter's saying it's him. What? See, this is craziness. Like it's not me, because I'm gonna put something in the fucking chat right here. Like what? This is so fucking creepy.
You know who isn't in the chat right now? I am putting my money on it being TryHard Ninja.
No, it can't be TryHard.
No.
TryHard would fuck. He would fuck with you. I
don't doubt he would, but
you know why? Because I feel like he thinks. I think a lot of people feel like you give Seb so much shit that.
Look at K-pop's got my back. It isn't TryHard Ninja.
Yeah. You would say that.
Yeah, exactly. She would totally say that.
2 boobies and a sensor and a. Okay, Larry's Lova, send me a message on YouTube.
Yeah, or me, either one of us. Let us know, because I'm gonna go check my YouTube messages right now and see if you get in touch. So I would love to find out who you are. That's hilarious to me. In the meantime, let's keep this rolling. So to answer your question, TryHard, like I'm on the side of things that I like where Black Ops went, because I feel like I'm like, you know how everyone thinks they're above average driver, and obviously not everyone can be above average driver. I know that I'm like a below average FPS player. Like I know that I'm like, my best moments are more above average, but like what I normally play at is kind of like around below average.
No, dude. Above average, like below average is below a 1 KD. So you were not below average. So I know what your KD is. So it's not.
Hello.
Hey, Drifter. You all right, buddy?
My fiance is fine. She just called to say that she almost crashed, but did not, thankfully. It doesn't snow much in Mississippi, and we got some tonight, so people are flipping out, and none of the cars are really equipped to drive on it. And she almost goofed, but she's fine.
So is she going to come back safe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's at work right now, saving lives and shit in the hospital. She's a nurse.
So the stream had an interesting question, and I wanted to shout it out as soon as it happened. When your fiance calls you and she's a nurse, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, did she crash? Like, does she drive ambulances or?
No. She had to drive to work. I mean, she has to drive from the house to work. And like I said, it never snows here in Mississippi ever. This is the first real snow in like 4 or 5 years, and it's pretty good, pretty big too. So it's not. Yeah, I mean, nobody knows how to drive it. She says in the hospital right now they're just getting a bunch of people from car crashes because, well, they don't know how to drive in snow.
Yeah, no shit. They're dumbasses, and they're crashing into each other, and they keep hitting the brake and thinking that'll do something on ice. Morons.
Yes.
You Americans don't know how to drive on winter, dude. Like,
I couldn't agree with you more, TryHard.
Like, okay, we'll have
it all
like
depends on your location, though. You can't say you Americans Americans because
for real.
That's
oh my god.
There are people like seriously in the fucking South. Like it does not snow, and once it snows, of course people freak the fuck out because they haven't seen it in 78
exactly,
years.
dude. Like we'll
so how do you say Americans? I'll get out there. I'll get out there in my 4-banger and fucking drive around better than anyone with a diesel where I'm living at right now.
No, you won't, dude. Okay.
The difference is America's so big, like geographically, the weather varies very greatly. Like down here in the South, it's a fucking delta. It's a swamp. You go somewhere else, it's a desert. You go up north, it's a snow field. And then you have islands and stuff. It varies so greatly when you get sporadic weather. Some people just don't know how to drive in it or don't know how to handle it.
I'll get like fucking 20 centimeters of snow and like nothing closes here.
So anyway.
All right.
Moving on from driving in the snow, boring
we will try to get on our Black Ops topic.
Let's go Black Ops.
Let's do that.
Do I have to repeat my question again, or can you guys answer it?
No, I basically what I think is that I feel like I do a much better job on Black Ops because everything's just a little bit slower. It takes a few extra bullets to kill someone, and I kick ass when I have just that extra moment to think about it. Like by the time my brain was like, no, go back around the corner, they're shooting you, I was already dead in Modern Warfare 2. Like my brain
it's
just
an old brain you got
work.
there, buddy.
I agree.
I don't really see that big a difference, honestly. The biggest difference is there's no stopping power.
But who cares about your opinion? You're 23 years old. Like, of course your brain can keep up. I'm old. I'm like wrinkly and.
No. Okay. You guys, I'm known for in depth. I'm going to give you a very in depth answer about this, and this isn't something that I looked up. Josh actually did this. We're going to do this on the myth busting episode. Ooh. We wanted to know because apparently it's easier to hip fire on PC, like it really is, and it feels easier in these games. And what happened is the gameplay, like the way the game calculates the hip fire and the bullets and stuff, hasn't really changed since COD 4. But the network code has changed a lot from COD 4 to Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops. So the reason they took out stopping power for Black Ops is because they changed the network code to have less bullet latency. So they felt that they didn't need stopping power, as that was originally supposed to be implemented for kind of like the laggier players to keep up with the host and things like that. And that changes the way. Well, I'm rambling. Give me just a second to collect my thoughts here in the proper manner.
No, but like. To try to put this in clear English, does that mean that they felt that the hit registration would be much better in Black Ops than it was in Modern Warfare 2?
Yes. In general, yes.
They failed miserably, buddy.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm aware of that. What you're seeing is not...
I'm aware of that.
You're like blaming it on Driftor.
Dog, what do you know? I'm not playing with the rope. Go away.
Yeah, because if you guys don't know, Driftor has a fucking cool dog. And it's like a huge son of a bitch, and it's probably being a pain right now.
It just wants to play with the rope toy. But the hit detection is a little bit better, but it's mostly for PC, where they have dedicated servers and everybody has the same.
I was about to ask you that, yeah.
Yes, it's mostly for PC. I don't know why they would put the better networking code on the PC, even though it's a mostly console game, and then make the PC version unplayable due to other reasons. But that's, I believe, why it is. That's the best information we were able to find. But on console, what you're seeing is your difference in lag, because it's using similar to a Halo zero ping kind of thing, to where whatever you're doing on your screen is exactly what the other person is going to feel, no matter where they've actually moved to on their Xbox. And however many milliseconds is different is just tough shit. And that's why you get shot around corners and why people die late and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah. And to be honest, I mean, I think we all feel that a lot. I feel like I get shot around a corner, 10 times a game, to be honest. So.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
So wait. So here's the second part of my question. What do you guys think should be improved? I know this game has been out for only maybe 3 months or whatever, but what should be improved when, I think it's whoever's doing the next Call of Duty game, they go ahead and try to do that. So what should be improved?
I'm going to say some of the kill streak usefulnesses. Some of the kill streaks in this game were kind of useless, like the mortar strikes. And the biggest thing about this game is, since I do the numbers on the guns, I know for a fact that 60 to 70% of the guns are almost identical to each other, especially in the SMGs and the assault rifles, which are the most used weapons. I mean, there's little quirks. It kicks a little different. It's got 2 more bullets in the clip. But the damage and the damage drop and the rate of fire, they're so identical to each other. It feels almost like you're exchanging gun models and not actual weapons.
Do you have any idea why they go ahead and do that? Like, why would you want to post, like, bring up two similar guns, identical guns, just change the artwork around the gun? Like, why would you want to do that?
90% of the people, maybe 95 or probably more, will never notice the difference because there are slight differences between guns, the center speed, the little bit of recoil, what direction it drifts, but just that little bit makes it feel different enough where most people won't know. And they've chosen these numbers because they believe these are somewhat balanced numbers that kill people in a certain amount of time and deal with the lag pretty well. So they feel if they keep some of the more important numbers in place, it'll be pretty balanced. And they change some of the other aspects to give the guns a little bit of a different feel, which I understand, but I disagree with because I would rather have more unique weapons.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically what you're saying is the purpose for them to have basically keep these weapons the same is for overall balance for 99% of the community that doesn't watch YouTube or try to get better at the game and they're just a weekend warrior.
But it's not balanced, buddy. It's really not because all they do.
If he's saying 70% of the weapons are basically the same, other than kick and 2 extra bullets, then yeah, that's the point of it. It's so that we as a YouTube community or YouTubers can't just run through the game like what was happening on Modern Warfare 2 because that's what was happening.
Like the UMP. People say the AK-74 is the same as the UMP, and that is not true because the UMP had this ridiculous thing. The minimum damage you could ever make it do with a silencer super far away was 35 with no stopping power. So it would always kill in 3 hits no matter what, really accurate, all these other sort of things. The AK-74U has a really nice, predictable kick, and it's better than all the submachine guns, but it doesn't compete with that thing.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
So wait. So the UMP is like an LMG at long range. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. The UMP at any range did only 5 less damage than any light machine gun, and it did more damage than light machine guns when they were silenced, and it did more damage than most assault rifles at long range.
Now, see, when you're bringing that info up like that, it seems so easy to think that was a stupid mistake made by them, but there has to be a reasoning behind. Like, I can't convey, like, I can't understand how a full team of whatever you want to call them, like, they're fucking working on a game called Modern Warfare 2, and they don't, like, nobody brings up the fact that, hey, maybe the UMP is going to be overpowered.
Well, the UMP, I can't remember, did it have 25 bullets to a clip? I can't remember, but it shot really slow. It shot slower than the light machine guns, than the assault rifles, than the submachine guns. And the kick was pretty predictable, but outside of medium range, it was kind of worthless. You'd have to shoot it like one shot at a time, and you couldn't see dick down the iron sight. So it wasn't a super weapon by any means, but it was really beefcake inside of medium range just because of the damage. I mean, your assault rifle, your M16 would be doing 20 damage a shot, and you'd have to shoot somebody 5 times, and the UMP would be doing 35, so you'd have to hit them 3 times.
Yeah. I remember the whole thing you were talking about UMP sniping. Like, you could just line up the shot from freaking, across the map, and it's just plap, 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 done. You got them. Like,
I take it you never put a thermal scope on the UMP.
Heck no.
Who the hell uses? Oh yeah. You use those quirky setups, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess the way that I see that they do this is because they have these designers and these developers that create the game, and it doesn't mean that they play this game to make money. They create the game to make money. They don't play the game to make money. So they create the game, they do all these things that they think are cool, they put it out for beta testing, and then for beta testing they take a couple different ideas, but you're still going to have egos in game development, so you're going to keep certain things in there. So then they go ahead and push it out, and that's why we as a YouTube community feel that there's issues or non-issues with these certain weapons, because these guys don't play it like we do. Like, they make the game, create the game, put it on the fucking shelf, other than, the team that's out there to correct things, and they're going to move on to the next, whatever the next project is.
Well, you do realize that up until this last year or two, that didn't matter at all. Like, I don't know how many of you saw the little video I made about a paradigm shift, but seriously, up until, I would say, Modern Warfare 2, that didn't make 2 shits of difference to any game developer, because once the game was done, people would play the multiplayer, or they would like it, or maybe they would update it a little bit, but there wasn't a giant gaming community, fan base, swarming, review center, long tail long-tail profits. Like the Machinima Respawn, they gave Modern Warfare 2 so much money, not directly. I mean, they got paid by Activision, all that. I mean, Infinity Ward and all that stuff. But they gave so much lifespan to that game. It had its own community and its own needs, and now they're trying to build games to tap into that, to have that really long lifespan and sales cycle, which is why you're seeing them give a shit what we think about the games, and why there's more hardcore gamers like us, or pretty much anybody that's listening to this right now.
Okay, so I put out a video about this a couple of days ago, and I'm like, I get where you're coming from, but I still think we're in our absolute infancy. Like, if you look at the number of sales that happened already, just up until TryHard's last press release was December 24th, and it was 33 million units sold at that point in time. We represent a community of no greater than 750,000 people, and how many dead accounts are part of that Machinima Respawn active user base. So if you cut the difference between Machinima and I don't know, CNANers or someone at like 320, 350, I think like active users that care about the community, somewhere in the region of 500,000. Like, that's not a percent. Like, it's nothing of the amount of people that buy this game. So like, developing a game and then maintaining it, there's no long tail here. Like, there's no reason for them to make money.
No, there is a long tail. I don't know if you've taken a marketing class or not, but us, the hardcore, we're what the Japanese would call an otaku, a fan of this. We're the most vocal group. We're making the videos. When people want to know about this game, the noobs, the weekend warriors, the whatever you want to say, when they want to know about something, they'll ask you. They'll ask the next best person they know about. This happens to me. People are like, what game is good? What system is good? They'll get on YouTube and they'll type it in, and they'll type in, Call of Duty Black Ops gameplay. What are they going to find? They're going to find Machinima Respawn. The shift is in marketing, and instead of doing this push on TV, which they do a little bit, they do really nice things to us, the hardcore, the fan community, and they allow us to push it on other people, or for other people to contact us as a primary source of information, because we're more reliable than the giant advertising machine, which it's basic marketing, or it's new age marketing, I'd say late 90s to now, but it's being implemented very well here.
See, I was seeing it in a totally other way, because I was thinking that, because like more along Lars's Verbal's way, I was, because we are such a minority. Like, we represent 2% of the COD community, and they can implement stuff like they have listened to us, like TryHard has, through Modern Warfare 2, because this game caters to skilled players a whole lot more than Modern Warfare 2 did. But once again, I mean, they will never take away that, knife, how the knifing animation is a one-hit kill, and how there's some kind of a small lunge, and how the tactical is not your default, because that helps the weekend warrior, like you were saying. And I just basically think that none of that's ever going to get outed out of Black Ops.
No, that's why consoles have auto aim, because the vast majority of the players couldn't shoot without auto aim, and they'd get mad and they'd quit, and they wouldn't buy the sequels or the map packs, and they'd resell the games and all that, which loses a bunch of money.
So, Driftor, yeah, actually, I not only have I taken a couple of marketing classes, I actually have a master's in marketing.
God damn it.
I'm sorry. I actually work for a media agency in advertising, and
you're about to make me look really fucking stupid. I know
it. No. You're very much in the right place, but you're not. What you're talking about is a marketing scheme and a marketing plan and a campaign that's far smarter than Activision is. And okay, I take it a little bit step further. So I work for the company that is actually agency of record for Activision. So when you see an advert out there for Call of Duty or any one of Activision's games, we have come up with a concept, we've bought it, we've placed it, and that's what I do for a living. So,
well, you know what? Screw you and your company, because I got hired to make a fucking advert for Activision through Machinima, and it all got shot to shit due to copyright after I busted my nuts on it. So since you're the most closely related person to that, I know I'm blaming you.
You blame me. No, go ahead. Actually, we do the media buying, so we purchase where it goes. But nowadays, it's not like Mad Men where one agency does every single thing. There would be another creative agency that would put together, and they'd have everything to do with the creative. It tends to, like in the advertising industry, you tend to attract two different types of mindset. So if I'm buying media, I tend to be fairly analytical. And if I am creating, content, then I'm more of that creative person. And you get that creative person and the analytical person in one room, they will never agree on anything. So you have, it just becomes so much better to have it as two different teams. But so basically, I mean, what it comes down to is Activision have the model of the whole Blizzard or World of Warcraft, where they're charging the set thing per month, and they have a team doing that. So it's not like they don't know about this concept or don't do it tremendously successfully. Clearly they do, and they do it very well. To them, though, they like having this, dual companies biting or battling it out. And to me, it's been really, really interesting. I actually talked about this on my last video, but COD 3 was, by all accounts, just absolutely god-awful and horrible.
Yes.
And then COD 4 was Infinity Ward's chance to basically save the franchise. And at that point, it was kind of a case of, right, we need to redesign everything we're doing here. So let's completely change everything. And in my humble opinion, COD 4 is literally the best game in the franchise. Not just because it's playable and great, but because it turned a franchise that was going downhill, uphill really, really fast.
Oh, I agree.
TryHard then comes out with their World at War, which everyone plays around with for, a little while. And it's kind of like... let's be honest, that didn't really go very fast. Modern Warfare 2 comes out, and it's really a case of, Infinity Ward they've put themselves out there as, look, we kicked ass last time, and we saved a dying franchise. This time around, here is the fucking shiznit. Here is what we can do. We're going to come up with customizable kill streaks. We're going to customize everything we can possibly think of to customize. We're going to kick ass. For them, and I literally, it's weird that we bring this up, because I literally, I put out a expectations video on Thursday or something, and the problem becomes Modern Warfare or Infinity Ward are doing right by the people that employ them and pay the checks, and that's Activision. So get a great game out there, make people buy it, and you've won. Post-sale support, fuck it, who gives a shit? And then now Treyarch are, to me, doing the better thing of actually listening to us on a monthly basis. This is what the patch is. We should talk about the patches, come to think of it.
Yes, I understand where you're getting at, and I agree with a lot of that. And Treyarch isn't doing much better post-sale, although having the dual companies is creating something very bad with expectation management.
Yeah, and next year is going to be really tough as well, because Infinity Ward is a completely different company now. So it's, we'll see what they come out with, but it's not, the people that make up the company and the vibe within the office is completely different from this year to last year. So it'll be interesting, but...
Okay, so I can see some other stuff coming up. So we're going to talk about patch now.
I guess we could.
Or we could move out of Black Ops as well.
Have we talked enough about Black Ops? We're up on a lot of time. I mean, it's up to you guys if we want to talk about.
Actually, come to think of it, we should probably get into our stories, because we're.
Do you guys actually have stories this time?
I have a story. Do you have a story this time? You didn't tell a story last time, did you?
Dude, I
lives in fucking Canada. Gets 20 centimeters of snow. Americans are fucking stupid. And blah blah blah.
Wait.
Cool story, bro.
I was playing hockey earlier today. I know that's whatever, but
were you in the showers? Did you have fun?
No. See,
the Canadian was actually playing.
What's the ice, eh?
One of my buddies who's actually on the hockey team, they know I'm on a podcast and whatever, and we do this one-up stories. And I was telling him I'm out of stories, and they're like, "Well, you should tell this story about this one thing." So I do have a story, and it is true, but it's not about me. It's about my a good friend of mine. Let's just say. So yeah, I do have a story. It's pretty good. So Larry, do you have a story?
Of course I do, dude. I did the wedding reception.
Yeah. Why do I
did the wedding. Now I've got the wedding reception, which is possible.
Larry's whole fucking life is a story.
It basically is.
All right, Verbal, do you have a story?
I've always got a story, man. I'm down. Who's going first?
Well, wait. First, Drifter's going to be the judge, but if you have a story, Drifter, you're more than welcome to join in, and we can have the whole stream judge. It's up to you.
Might as well have the whole stream judge, because I have lots and lots of unusual stories. Depends on what kind of story we're talking about. Are we talking a cool story, a funny story? I have quite a few very horrifying stories.
Okay, yeah.
We'll let Drifter go last, because that way he can decide what story he wants to use.
That works. I'm down.
I can't go first because I got to go take a piss. I'll be right back.
Fantastic. Larry, you or me?
I'll go.
Go for it.
Okay, so we'll take off where I left off. At the wedding reception. So
love it.
Basically, the priest came into the rectory, told me to keep getting rid of the beers that me and my best man had in there. And then my best man went up to speak and was completely shit-faced reading Psalm 91 or fucking some shit. So we'll fast forward a little bit. We did the pictures and everything, so it was a little bit of time to sober up. It took about 2 hours. And we get to the Knights of Columbus, the place that we were holding it, because I'm not rich like Seb, so I don't have lots of money, so we take it where we can get it. And I get there, and it's not an open bar, but when you are the groom, you don't pay for a drink. And my drink of choice was a rum and coke, Captain Morgan's. So every time I'd walk past the main table where the groom and the bride would sit, there would be at least 2 rum and cokes. And every time I'd pass the bar, which would happen to be near the exit to go smoke a cigarette, there would be at least 2 people offering me shots. And if you guys don't know it by now, I like to drink my alcohol so I don't pass down these opportunities. So about 4:30 in the afternoon, I'm heading out to go smoke a cigarette. I'm taking pictures with everyone, saying hi to people I haven't seen in months because I just got out of boot camp. And I'm walking up to go take a picture with my wife, her brother, her sister, and for some reason, someone decided to put a drink down on the ground in front of the drunk guy. So this is step 1 of epic failure for your wedding. As I walk up drunkenly, I kick the cup, and it spills all over my wife's wedding dress. So, yes, thank you very much.
Nice.
She was nonetheless not happy with me taking that picture, which you can see in the picture as I'm getting the evil stank eye. So we'll fast forward a little bit more, and we go to once everyone enters into the reception hall, and it's time for the speech. The speech happens to be by my best man, who happened to be the guy getting yelled at by the priest for having beers in the rectory. Like I said, 3 hours prior to this, he was still shit-faced, so he gets up and he's like, yeah, this fucking guy's awesome. Fucking A. Fuck, I know him forever. Fuck, they're awesome. And he sits down because he doesn't like talking in front of people. So my mom, she's not a super religious person, but she's kind of religious. She likes to do it for the more social advantages than just religious advantages. And she's part of a monastery because we have not family, but you know when you have close friends that you kind of say are family? Well, yeah. A monk, a literal monk with the fucking hood, he's got the whole shit, stands up and gives like the most Shakespearean toast ever after my best man's supremely shitty drunken toast.
Oh, God, that sucks.
Yeah, so he like, I watched my best man's face as like it just dropped as this guy got up and was like, nice. You know, bless these wonderful people and their life of love and blah, 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 blah. We're not over yet, though. Okay? So a couple hours fast forward, I'm still passing by the bar, taking shots. Every time I come into the table, there's a drink waiting for me. I barely ate anything. And now it's the time then I'm going out to get, when you have a, oh, what the fuck's the party called when you have, not best men, but you have all your friends and shit in the party, the groom's party or whatever it is.
The groom's
I got them all. Yeah, I got them all a special present, you know, like an engraved flask or something like that. They didn't drink. I did, and I thought it was cool to get them an engraved flask because I would like an engraved flask. So I go out to get them all these presents and stuff. And while I'm out in the parking lot, 2 13-year-old punks, or 12, 13-year-old punks, crash my party and steal my wedding gifts that are on the front table. Now,
what?
The majority of, yes, I swear to God, the majority of gifts that you get at a wedding, yeah, you'll get like some flutes and, you know, some other cool, you know, like a fucking sweet toaster, a flute, like a champagne flute.
Oh, okay.
So you'll get like all this cool shit, and these little fuckheads crash this thing because it's right by the door. They grab it and they take off running. I'm out in the parking lot. I have no idea what's going on. One of my groomsmen, my buddy Boltron, he's about, I don't know, 5'10", about 280 pounds. He takes off after him. My wife, still in her wedding gown, my newly wife, is still in her wedding gown, takes off down the street after him, along with several other people that were in the wedding. And they eventually catch these little shitheads and kind of beat
like
them
down the street, or what do you mean? Like it just,
no, seriously down the street. Like
That's
they grab them. and took off down the street. These kids had, I don't know, I think we got maybe $2,000 or $3,000 for, wedding gifts and stuff like that. And these kids probably had about half of that. And they just took off. And now I'm in the parking lot, so I have no idea. Like, I'm in the back parking lot behind the building. I have no idea. I come stumbling in, shit-faced drunk, big old smile on my face. And there's just melee everywhere. People are screaming. They're like, oh, little fucking kids, blah, blah, blah. And to this day, I have not lived that down. So I guess I owe my wife another wedding. That's the point of the story. Yeah, so don't do that, Drifter. Don't do that. Don't be
I'll
that.
try not to.
All right. So who's next?
Is that you or me?
It's all right. I'll go. I'll try to make mine concise because, of course, Larry fucking took my place and did a fucking 10-minute story. But
and bored us all to death.
Yeah, so, all right.
Hey,
this is
get a one-upper verbal, and then you can talk, huh?
All right. So here's my quick little story right here. This is a story about my girlfriend's brother. So he's what you want to call a player, I guess. He's one of those, real buff type dudes. He has no problems getting with the ladies, right? Mm-hmm. So we're at this party, and this party is at one of my friend's house, and this friend is in his mid-30s, all right? So he's a really, really cool dude. He doesn't work because he got money from his parents when they died. And
sounds familiar.
No, dude, my parents are still
alive.
alive.
Yeah, except for your parents are still alive.
Dude, I never interrupted you in your story, so please. All right. So anyhow, this guy was married, like the guy who owned the house where the party was at. He used to be married, and I ended up being there, and he was engaged to this one girl. Who, anyways, he got left or divorced by this chick. So he ended up being single, and he has not getting laid in about one whole year probably.
Wait, what type of player doesn't get laid for an entire year?
No.
That's a pretty interesting one.
No.
It's a Canadian player. So it's like
oh my
Polish
god! Okay,
rules.
I probably explained this wrong. My sister, my girlfriend's brother, is the player, but he's at a party with this guy who's single now and hasn't gotten laid in a year. All right.
Okay.
So that was a one-sentence thing. All right. So this guy who hasn't gotten laid in a year has been working on this girl who lives about an hour and a half away through internet, which is never a good idea. And he's eventually got her to come over to this party where he's at, and has like this high hopes on banging this one chick, right? But lo and behold, my friend here, we'll call him Frank, all right? So Frank ends up in the hot tub with this chick, and okay, Frank has no loyalty for friends, right? So he'll just bang whatever's there. So he starts banging on this chick, right? While this guy who hasn't gotten any for a year is inside, because they're banging in a jacuzzi outside. And nobody knows any of this, but the guy who hasn't gotten laid, we'll call him Will. So Will goes outside to get some cold beer that was outside in the snow, and he sees Frank banging this hot chick in the hot tub. So he goes back in, slams the door shut, goes into the garage to grab a long metal pole, and by this time everybody's aware like what's going on. So there's like a bunch of guys trying to stop Will from fucking, beating up on fucking Frank, fucking this chick. But Frank here is unaware that this is going on, so he's still banging that chick while people are trying to like restrain him and shit. And so what happens is a few guys go outside to tell Frank that he should probably stop and he should probably leave. But Frank is the aggressive dude, so he's like, no, I ain't leaving. So he continues to fuck that chick. And like, yeah. So he continued to like fuck around with that chick in the jacuzzi for another about 5 or 10 minutes until he was done with this business. Then he got out, took the chick, left, and the party stopped. And the guy who had not gotten laid in about a year cried for about 2 hours, and we stayed there trying to console him.
Baw.
Yeah, I know.
Sucks for
dude.
him.
It was a terrible, terrible sight to see a 35-year-old man crying and weeping for a chick he had met like online about a week ago. It was terrible.
It was pain from blue balls.
Probably.
Oh yeah, that's gonna suck. All right, Drifter, you got one more story to get through, and then if you want to, you can either judge or you can dazzle us.
No. He has a story. I want to hear this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of worried. I think I could take it away from you two, but I think Drifter is going to kick ass after this, so we'll see. So I used to work in Scandinavia, and took a weekend up to Stockholm one time for a guys' weekend up, and I think it was like 4 or maybe 5 of us. My brother had been traveling around the world. For anyone who's been paying attention to my channel for a while, you've heard a couple of stories about my brother, and he has traveled on ships around the world quite extensively. He's pretty much been just about everywhere. And when he sort of came back from that trip, he had developed persuasion of certain ethnic group of young females, and for some reason the sort of the Chinese look or it worked well for them as well. Like my brother couldn't help but get laid whenever there was some type of hot Asian young lady involved, and my brother's got very good taste. My sister-in-law is Asian. I'm no disrespect whatsoever. In fact, it became sort of a source of amusement for us all, and he got to Stockholm and he was like, God, I'm not going to get laid now because the fucking Swedish people, and my brother and I are Swedish, like we're half Swedish, we have passports, we own land up there, like it's like we're full on Swedish, so we have the right to sort of give them a bit of shit. So we landed in Stockholm. My brother's like, shit, I'm not going to get laid all weekend because I know I'm going to get laid if there's a fucking Chinese girl in the bar with me, but how many Chinese people are there in fucking Sweden? Like I'm screwed. So first of all, we're giving them shit. Yeah, bullshit. Like as if you could just shag any fucking, Chinese person. And obviously, we take the entire weekend, and it's like I think we get there like Thursday night, and we're out Thursday night and Friday night and Saturday night, and like we're going home on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's Saturday night at like 3 a.m. when we roll into this one bar after 3 days of just drunken disgustingness. And we get into this bar, and my brother's like still not got laid. This is before his wife, obviously. This is years and years ago, just to make that clear. And we walk into the bar, and my brother's kind of like at that point of I'm past pissed off, and I'm resigned. I'm not going to get laid on this lad's weekend. We walk into this bar at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he sort of looks at the bar, and he goes, yeah, I'll have whatever fucking beer we were drinking. And I pat him on the shoulder. I'm like, look over in the corner, and there's 3 chicks. One of them's a Chinese girl, sort of young 20s. Another one's blonde, hot blonde, young 20s again. And then the third chick is clearly older, like I want to say mid-40s older. And I was like, say what? What's going on there? So my brother's like, lads, I will see you in the morning. He walks over and he talks to them. He talks to them for maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Gets up, leaves with them, and just gives us a thumbs up, and that's it. We see him the next morning at breakfast, and I'm like, how the fuck did you tell me you shagged her? And he's like, of course I did. And I'm like, well, okay, how the fuck did you do that? And he's like, well, I walked over and you guys were talking so much English, and we both speak Swedish fluently. So he listened in to their entire conversation in Swedish. And basically what ended up happening was the mom and her daughter were the 2 Swedish girls, and then the Asian chick. And they were all talking about this guy. And they were all like, well, talking about the guy being my brother, obviously. And they're like, well, he's obviously a sleazebag, but, have a bit of fun. Go home and fuck him. And my brother's like sitting there in the corner, understanding every single word they're saying, trying not to laugh at them. And, after a while of him just trying to be cute and listen in and try and say the right thing given what they were saying in Swedish, it worked. He took the girl home, and my brother's a player.
Well, he did quite well for himself, and that's very different morals than what we would get down here in the Deep South.
All right, Drifter, shake it up a bit, baby. I'm dying to hear this.
Okay. I'm going to tell a story. The only reason I'm telling this now is because, unfortunately, this story is going to be the central plot of an If It Were Realistic episode, so it's coming out anyway. It's a true story. It happened to me about 2 years ago. For those of you that don't know, Americans take spring break in college and go down to the beach. But I wasn't engaged at the time, but I was dating my fiance, so I wasn't looking for women. And I have had some alcohol problems in my family's past, so I don't drink. So I'm at the beach, not looking for women, not drinking. So it's just mostly me and my friends, but they're doing all that stuff, okay? And I'm there for one day. First night we're there, we go, and I eat an all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet. This is Southern Mississippi shrimp. And I eat it was 3 plates and 2 pieces of catfish. So that was probably 50 or 60 shrimp, and then lots of water from a questionable source. And we go to bed early because I'd been on the beach all night. And laying in bed, my stomach starts hurting really bad, and it starts brewing and grumbling and go blug, 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 blug. And then I realize what's happening. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I get up and run to the bathroom and shit all over everything. I'm like, okay, that's terrible, but thankfully I've passed that demon. Go back, lay down in bed. Happens again. Okay, not so bad. And then I'm starting to fall asleep. And then at one point I wake up in the middle of the night, and I realize my ass is like really sweaty. And then I go to scratch it, and then oh my god, I've got a handful of shit. And then as soon as I sit up,
what?
keep listening. It's like when I get to the light, it's like yellow mucusy kind of stuff. But anyway, what happens is as soon as I sit up, like, oh fuck, I have to clean up, my stomach just, it feels like it implodes, and it's like, oh god, I have to go now. So I'm like running down the hall with shit draining down my leg, and as I'm running, I'm flinging little bits of it all over the wall.
Oh my god.
And get to the bathroom, shit like mad. It was just awful, painful, terrible diarrhea. And I'm like, oh my god, it's finally over. These people in the comments here are cracking me up, but this gets a lot worse.
Oh god.
But see there, my ass is more or less covered in shit, and my underwear is ruined. I can't remember. No, I didn't throw them away. I put them in the corner of the bathroom, and we're in a hotel bathroom. I'm like, oh god, I need to shower. So I get in the shower and I'm cleaning up and washing all this shit off myself, and it's really, really bad. And then I realize I have to fart in the shower, and I'm like, well, I have diarrhea, so this might be a little bit more of a fart, but I haven't sharted that bad. So at least if I'm in the shower, I can push the poo-poo down the drain and everything will be fine. So I'm like, okay, well, if I just in case I'm gonna shart, I'm going to at least point my ass at the drain. So I'm just like, I'm gonna let this out nice and easy. And then I get this feeling like a bull rammed me right in the gut, and maybe Hulk Hogan is twisting my innards, and it's like, ah! And then all you hear is, my ass is like a rapid-fire shit cannon, spraying the wall like mad with with little giblets that hit and stick like little bugs splatting the windshield, and chocolate milk that goes everywhere and drains down. And I shit all over my roommate's razor and his soap and his shampoo and everything, and the whole wall was just covered in shit. And when it was done, I was like, oh god, what have I done? And I turn around to clean it up, and that's when I realized there's no cleaning this up. This is it's like a 2-hour job cleaning this up, and it's all over the curtain and terrible. And I feel awful, so I'm just like stumbling out of the bathroom naked and try and put some more underwear on. I cleaned up the best I could in the shit shower, but it was pretty much ruined. And it was just hurting so bad. And my roommate asked me what the fuck is going on. I tell him, he's just so angry he decides to go back to sleep. And I call the hotel front desk and I ask him, will you please get somebody up here to clean the shower? And he says, well, I'm the only person up right now, and I really don't want to leave the front desk. I won't clean it unless it's an emergency. What happened? And it's really late, and I'm kind of cracked out of my mind, and I'm hurting. And the only thing I can think to say of it, and I think I said about like this, like, it was a sin against mankind. And he asked me to explain, and when I tell him I shit all over the shower wall, he's like, well, that's a $200 cleaning fee unless it's clean when I leave. So I'm like, fuck me. And then I try to go back and lay down in bed, and then I realize there's a brown spot in the bed where it shouldn't be. So I cleaned that as best I could. I lay back down and going back to sleep, and I'm like, okay, it's going to be fine. This is finally over. And, just for reference, I took my shit-filled underwear and threw them out on the balcony because I didn't want to deal with them. And then my other two roommates come back in. They'd been out drinking all night, and one guy bought a large specialty pizza from some place. And if you've never been to American hotel beds, they're set up with 2 beds and like a little space in between. I'm on the far bed away from the bathroom, and the guy with the pizza sits down in between the 2 beds. And he goes to try and pee, and I keep telling him not to, and he won't listen, and he goes into there, and then all I do is I hear him scream and come out, and he yells at me about shitting in the shower forever, and they all piss off the balcony. But anyway, about 4 shits later, they're laying into me. It's awful. It's like, who does that, man? Who shits in the bed? My God, who does that? How do you even have a fiance? What's your problem? And the sad thing is it's really hilarious stuff, but I'm sick. So my stomach, every time I laugh, it's just pain, but I can't stop laughing. And the dude's sitting in between the 2 beds with the pizza there, just sprawled out, eating pizza, talking shit at me, throwing olives at me and stuff. And it hits me again, and I have to go. So I jump up out of bed as fast as I can, and I didn't mean to, but I plant my foot right in the middle of his large pizza and run across both beds to go shit. But what he probably didn't realize is that's the same foot that was in the shit water that was in the shower. So he commenced to, even though I warned him, just told me to go fuck myself, and he ate the entire pizza. We'll get back to this guy later. The rest of the night was a myriad of pain and throwing up on the floor and being too sick to clean it up. So I just put a boogie board on top of it. And then I threw up blood all over the bathroom, and they took me to the hospital, driving drunk to the hospital, swerving all over the place. And I get there, and they ask me what's wrong, and I'm like, it was shrimp poisoning. I swear to God, it's not alcohol poisoning. I promise you. And they're like, dude, we understand it's food poisoning. And the nurse is like, so tell me what happened. And I'm out of my mind. I'm like, my God, it was worse than 2 girls, 1 cup. And and they're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, sorry, it's more like tub girl. Here, let me just get on the internet and type in tub girl. And anyway, American Hospital, it cost me $3,000 to go to the emergency room and get a little IV and see a doctor for 15 minutes. But
oh, dear God. What
happened was the guy that ate the pizza, he in some way ate the same thing that made me sick. And we used to be pretty good friends. He hates me now. He hates me like anal cancer. And he thought that was disgusting. Like I was a barbarian for doing what I did. And it was an accident, but he never believed me. But the really thing that got him is he ate the shit pizza, the same shit foot that stepped on the pizza that he ate. And it hurt him so bad. I think it got him worse than me because about a day later, nobody heard from him. And he just disappeared for like 4 days. And he came back. He said he was hurting so bad. I think he had to get his mom, who was a nurse, to get off work and come down here and take care of him. And he said he shit like 1,000 times until he didn't think there was anything left in his stomach. And it was the most painful thing in his entire life. And for just weeks and months until he moved away, he constantly antagonized me, hated me like a cancer. And I guess there's no big dramatic conclusion to that story, but I figured that would be the most appropriate story to share for this occasion. And unfortunately, there's an If It Were Realistic video about gameplay commentary in which my role required me to tell a random story for Ronaldox. So that was the random story I told. So thousands of people will see it soon anyway.
Wow.
Wow. Dude, that is just...
that's unreal. That's
all right.
Wow.
So let's have the stream. The stream, to make it easier, I just want you to type the name of who you want to win. So I'm Mr. I TryHard. Driftor just told his story. Larry told his, and so did Verbal. So just put in the name of who you want to win real quick, and we'll take a 30-second poll.
I think we've got it.
I got to vote for
wins.
Tino's.
We got some for those here.
Where's my lover?
Larry, Drifter. Okay, you can't do it twice, guys. Yeah, it's Drifter.
Drifter wins. Drifter, good job. That was a hell
I saw Lava vote for everybody, dude. Come on.
That was awesome.
And by the way, I got no fucking votes. You can all go screw yourself.
By the way, my lover here can't spell my goddamn name right. What kind of retarded troll do I have?
There's an I Love Verbal now. Nice.
I see that. I see that.
You know.
All right. So I guess we gotta stop making our guests do fucking stories now because they're always winning.
Yeah, fucking what's his name? Jeff came out with a hell of a story, pretty much very similar to a Drifter story there, and kicked the shit out of us all too. So literally.
Yeah.
Well, the hard thing is you guys have to come up with something every week, and we get to just pick the best.
True.
Yeah, I guess. But fucking Kelly came on, and then she had 3 stories that owned every single one of our stories.
Yeah, I can continue if you would like.
No.
Oh my God, really? Because, but I still think Kelly's story was the best. For those of you who didn't listen to the episode with K-pop on her, she basically says that she can orgasm off of jogging, which is goddamn awesome if you ask me.
Well, there's not much jogging going around when you have 20 millimeters or centimeters or inches or however you fucking measure snow up there.
Okay.
Should we move on to our stories, Larry?
We just did the stories.
No. I mean, my bad. The news.
Yeah, we have weird news every week to try and keep ourselves updated. By the way, is that Arizona lady? Is she alive?
Yeah.
As of right now, yeah.
And she's actually responding to stimuli too, which is a good sign.
That is crazy. What a story yesterday. That was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird, you guys.
The suicide video?
Say that again.
Did you watch the guy's suicide video, the one that he posted on YouTube before committing?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was about he had some crazy numbering going on about the number of years that the Earth was around, and he had some sort of idea going on that language kind of controls who we are, and if you replace the pronunciations and the letters, then each person can create their own language and thus their own currency. And since the government controls our currency, there's something evil about. And anyway, it's classical of I think it's classic. I'm not the psychologist. It looked like disorganized schizophrenia to me. So
wow.
That's what I think he had.
Yeah, not my world of expertise. Definitely not. I have no clue. That's just crazy and weird to me. But Larry, do you have anything, any particular stories?
I do. I know it's like completely awful to say that you mentioned stimuli, so I have a story for that.
Nice.
But yeah, okay. So that's how I roll. I've limited morals, no character, and basically what happened is there was a Minnesota man who was facing felony charges after police discovered that he had retrofitted a vibrator, turning the sex toy into a homemade explosive device.
That is awesome.
Wow.
Okay, basically what happened is this guy was dating some girl. She ended up leaving him and contacted the police. And this guy had taken a dildo or vibrator and basically modified the device so that the black and red wires connected to a trigger that had a battery port. And when, I guess, inserted or used, he would trigger said device, blow the whorish ex-girlfriend that he no longer loved.
Oh, dear God, that's crazy.
So, okay, it's not like
people really are fucked up. Like, that's really fucked up.
Dude,
that's like,
sir,
wow.
This is the funniest thing I've heard all week.
It's not like he just had one. He had 3. He had 2 other sex toys: a pink vibrator that said "Merry Xmas, bitch," and another black vibrator that had gunpowder and projectiles in it. So this guy obviously hated
fucking amazing.
His ex-lovers. Wow.
So wait, I got a question for you. Did he have like different triggers for each one, so like he could like blow them up at the same time randomly around the town or something?
Vibra bomber. That's a good one.
He had 3 different dildo bombs.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Like, it doesn't like get into like the nitty gritty on why he was so upset with these ex girlfriends, but he was pissed. I'm just gonna say that, and he didn't have like it has his rap sheet here, and it was just domestic assault and drunk driving busts. But now he's looking at like a max of 10 years for creating, dildo bombs, which might be the new word of the century, dildo bomb.
That should be the plot of like a really crappy porn movie. It's like, Special Agent Johnson, just the dildo bomb's activated. You need to get in there and defuse it.
Well, who was it? T, didn't you?
That's awesome.
Didn't you send a link, or maybe it was someone else that sent the link for like a Ron Jeremy porno / horror movie where his dick got separated? Yeah, One-Eyed Monster.
That was
there it is.
Somethingawful.com. The one-eyed
One-Eyed Monster. And basically his dick gets like cut off and just kills people. And you just see these horrified looks before this huge dong murders them.
Oh, I saw that. That was epic, dude. Fucking Ron Jeremy's dick was roaming around town. Fucking like, oh yeah.
Wow.
Sure thing, buddy.
It was.
So this podcast took a downhill turn, didn't it?
No,
we should just name this podcast "One-Eyed Monster with Drifter."
No, but wait, like somebody should link these guys to the whole video of the One-Eyed Monster, because it was splitting people in half and shit.
Yeah,
holy shit.
That's like the Actinus Maximus War of the Alien Dinosaurs, or Thanksgiving with the turkey that rapes people, and he's like, gobble, motherfuckers. Some guy keeps selling here, Driftor still needs to F himself. What's your problem? I'm just, you just go ahead and tell me what I've done wrong, please, so I can respond to you, guitar guy, dude.
Guitar guy does not like you for whatever reason. We can address him in a little while, guys. I think that was a pretty damn good podcast. Drifter, we can't thank you enough, man, because we were talking to you today, or Seb was talking to you today, TryHard was talking to you today, man, and like all of a sudden you're like, sure, I can spend an hour and a half chatting to you guys right now, which is pretty damn cool. So we really appreciate you being interested, and B, that you were so quick to respond. That was really, really cool of you. So we appreciate it.
No problem. I work really fast.
Apparently, that's what she said.
No, really, you'd be surprised. I make like whole machinimas in like 3 hours.
That's actually fucking impressive, to be perfectly honest. Holy shit.
I played 3 hours to get a gameplay for a video on my channel.
You can go ahead and end the podcast. I'll send you guys a link to my private preview channel, and I'll show you some of the stuff.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, thanks a lot for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed episode, whatever we're on now, 10. Next week, we will have Jive Turkey, and the next few weeks are looking pretty cool. Jive, if you're still around or listening to us, we apologize, and sorry that it all got mixed up, but looking forward to having you next Sunday night, buddy. And that's it. That's a podcast. TryHard, Larry. Any last words?
I am better than both of you.
Perfect moment to end it on. Take it easy, guys, and I'll talk to you all soon.